It started as an ordinary Sunday in Burari, a quiet neighborhood in North Delhi. The morning was warm. A few local shopkeepers opened early, preparing for another slow summer day. But one shop, a small grocery store run by the Bhatia family, didn't open its shutters. It was unusual. The Bhatias were always punctual, always reliable. Neighbors noticed the store hadn't opened by 7 a.m. Then 8 a.m. passed. By 9, something felt wrong. One concerned neighbor walked to their home, house number L11. The door was unlocked. What they found inside would haunt India forever. 10 bodies hanging from the ceiling in the hallway, blindfolded, mouths taped shut, hands tied, feet barely touching the ground, like puppets in midair. And an 11th body, that of the family's 77-year-old matriarch, Narration Devi, was found in another room, lying on the floor, lifeless. No signs of a break-in, no robbery, no struggle. 11 people, dead, in their own home. It looked like mass suicide, or something far worse. The media exploded. Mass ritual, one headline screamed. Black magic in Delhi? Asked another. In a country where superstition and modern life collide every day, it seemed anything was possible. But the truth would turn out to be far more complex and chilling. The police began their investigation with a single question. Why? Why would an entire family end their lives together? The Bhatias were well-liked, educated, middle class. The son, Lalit, ran the shop downstairs. His wife and 2 kids lived with him. His brother and his family, same. His sister and her 2 teenage daughters had moved in after her husband passed away. It was a crowded but happy house. No financial troubles, no enemies, no cult affiliations. Then, police found a diary, and another, and another. Over 11 years' worth of handwritten journals, hundreds of pages, all written by the same person, most of them in the same handwriting, all instructions, rituals, notes. And in the center row, Lalit Batia had once been a normal man, employed, cheerful, grounded. But after a traumatic accident and the sudden death of his father in 2007, something changed. He stopped speaking much, became withdrawn. And then, according to his family, he began channeling his father's spirit. He told them their father was watching, protecting, guiding, and he wrote it all down, in exacting detail. The human body is temporary, but the soul lives on. Hang like the root of a banyan tree. You will not die. I will save you at the right moment. These weren't just delusions. They were detailed, scheduled steps. Rituals performed weekly. Silent prayers. Positions to sleep in. Eye-covering practices. By 2015, the entire family was following his instructions, trusting that their dead father, through Lalit, was preparing them for something greater, a final test. On the night of June 30th, 2018, the family prepared for what the journals called Bad Tapasya, the final act of spiritual discipline. They believed they'd be reborn, that salvation was close. The instructions were clear. Tie your own hands and legs. Use a stool. Keep your mouth closed. Hang together like roots. Remain silent. They followed everything without hesitation. Lalit included himself in the ritual. There was no outsider, no murder weapon, no intruder. The only killer was belief. Psychologists later diagnosed Lalit with a rare form of shared psychotic disorder, folie à famille, where delusions are transmitted from one family member to the rest. The rest of the family, caught between trust and fear, followed him blindly. Even the youngest, just 15 years old, participated. It was suicide, orchestrated by one man's delusion and 10 people's faith. To this day, the house of Burari remains sealed. Locals refuse to go near it. People speak of cold spots, noises, shadows in the windows. Whether superstition or residual trauma, the house stands as a monument to one thing: how terrifying the human mind can be when left unchecked. This wasn't a ghost story. It wasn't black magic. It was something far scarier, a reality warped by grief and blind devotion, and it ended in silence. A silence that lingers on in the heart of Delhi. If this story unsettled you, good. Some truths are meant to haunt us. There are more mysteries waiting, buried in silence, hiding in plain sight. Subscribe for more dark realities, forgotten crimes, and the shadows we live beside. And remember, the scariest stories are the ones that really happened. Poof.